In our quiet little town, we had one unbreakable rule for Halloween. If you wanted trick-or-treaters, you left your porch light on. It was a simple, unspoken pact. A beacon in the autumn dark that said, "Welcome, little ghouls and goblins." If your light was off, you were left alone. Simple, safe, everyone followed it. Everyone except old Mr. Harrison. He lived in that sprawling Victorian at the end of Maple Street, the one with the skeletal trees that seemed to scratch at the sky. He was a reclusive man, and Halloween was no exception. Every year his house was a black hole on the street, his porch light stubbornly dark. The neighborhood kids knew to skip his house, it was just the way things were. This year, however, was different. A new family had moved in next door to him, with two young kids excited for their first Halloween in town. We all told them the local custom, warning them about Mr. Harrison's house. "Just skip that one," we'd say with a knowing nod. "He doesn't participate." Halloween night arrived, crisp and electric, the streets filled with laughter and the rustle of candy wrappers. As the evening wore on, I saw the new kids dressed as a tiny vampire and a witch, making their way down Maple Street. I watched them pass my house and continue on, their parents trailing behind. My heart skipped a beat when I saw them pause at the foot of Mr. Harrison's dark, imposing driveway. They hesitated, looked at the pitch-black porch, and then, to my surprise, they turned and walked away, rejoining the brighter, more welcoming parts of the street. I breathed a sigh of relief. The pact held. Later that night, long after the last piece of candy had been given out and the streets were silent, a storm rolled in. Rain lashed against my windows. It was around 3 a.m. when a sudden sharp sound cut through the noise of the wind. A knock. Not at my door, but it was close enough that I heard it. It was followed by a faint, almost inaudible whisper carried on the wind, a child's voice, thin and reedy. "We came anyway." I shivered, pulling my blanket tighter, telling myself it was just the storm playing tricks on my ears. The next morning the sun came out, washing the neighborhood clean. As I went to get my newspaper, I glanced down the street toward Mr. Harrison's house, and I froze. A single pale yellow light glowed from his porch. It was on. But something was wrong. The front door was slightly ajar, swinging gently in the morning breeze. The house was silent, too silent. Police were called. They went inside. An hour later they came out, their faces grim. The house was empty, not a sign of Mr. Harrison. No signs of a break-in, no struggle, he was just gone. The only thing out of place was that single glowing bulb on his porch, a beacon for visitors who were no longer there. The light stayed on for 3 days straight, before the power company finally shut it off. But even now, when I look at that dark house at the end of the street, I can't shake the feeling that he didn't turn that light on. Something else did. A reminder that some rules aren't meant to be broken. Thanks for listening to my story tonight. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there.